What's up, everybody? Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video with single spotlight. So we'll be talking about Inteleon in VGC and singles today. So Inteleon is one of the starter Pokemon, and in my opinion, the best one currently. It just passed Cinderace in usage, and for good reason. I mean, this Pokemon is really good. It can really abuse a lot of partner Pokemon in doubles, and can really abuse the Dynamax mechanic as well. Can be a really good Dynamax target. So yeah, mono water typing. All of the starters this gen had mono typing, which was pretty interesting. The whole way through, mono water, fire, and grass. So pretty interesting. Makes it pretty basic actually, with resistances being just fire, water, ice, steel, and then weaknesses is electric and grass. There's a lot of electric and grass going around, so we do have some relevant weaknesses. However, you can utilize Pokemon that really don't care about that switch in are really cool. Things like the Hydreigon that just resist both of them, and that's a really good way of doing it. The other things that you have to keep in mind is Gastrodon being able to Storm Drain, switch in, and then Storm Drain deals huge damage after a Storm Drain buff, even if it's not offensive with things like Life Orb. So yeah, things to keep in mind. Anyway, into our stats. So this Pokemon's actually really solid, like stats across the board. Not the best bulk. We have 70 HP, 65 defense, and 65 special defense. So not amazing bulk, although that's not what we're leaning into. We're leaning into the special attack and speed, since those are phenomenal. Special attack is 125 and speed is 120. Both are insanely solid. You can really hit a really solid speed tier, and of course we have speed tiers and damage calcs. So keep that in mind. You can follow along in the description below. We have timestamps if you want to check that out and skip around. And then single spotlight at the end, of course. So yeah, that's about it for Inteleon. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the build here. So Life Orb is our item of choice. This item is just really strong, especially on a Pokemon you intend to Dynamax or just want to give the option of Dynamax. You can always run Choice Specs or Focus Sash or Expert Belt on this Pokemon to increase damage. Obviously not for Focus Sash, but since it's so frail, you can always run Focus Sash. And other than that, for damage, you can run the Life Orb, which is what I'm opting to use. And or you could use Choice Specs, which is what we use in singles, or Expert Belt, which gives us a 1.2 times multiplier on super effective attacks. And since this Pokemon has a pretty wide range of attacks here, you can really take advantage of Expert Belt as well. I just think Life Orb's the best. It gives us the biggest boost, and the little bit of damage that we take, our Pokemon's really frail anyway, and it's fine. So into our moves, so we have Snipe Shot as our first move. It's just stab. It's really strong. It has a high crit rate, and once we get the hidden ability, having a high crit rate will be insane, because the hidden ability for this mon is Sniper. It gives you 1.5 times damage multiplier on top of a crit if you get a crit. So if you get a crit, you do big damage essentially, which is pretty cool. In Snipe Shot gives us a higher chance at a crit. It's pretty good. It also has a really high base power for a really strong Max Geyser as well. And then we also have Blizzard, so you could opt to use Ice Beam instead, but a very common partner that you'll see with this Pokemon with is Vanillix. Since it can set Aurora Veil, it sets Hail on switch in when it enters the battle, and then giving your Blizzard 100 accuracy. And then you can just dual Blizzard. Both Pokemon Blizzard is a pretty strong combo. And then we also have Air Slash. This becomes Max Airstream when you Dynamax, which is really, really powerful, giving you giving you a speed boost on all of your Pokemon that are currently out, which is really, really solid. Max Airstream is a great form of speed control. Obviously, you'll a lot of the time you'll be partnered with things like Whimsicott that also have speed control, being able to set Tailwind, which is good. So, and then for our last attack we have, or our last move, is Protect. Just to protect, this Pokemon's really frail, so a lot of the times you'll want to do some damage and then be able to have Max Guard or Protect as an option, which I think is a good option. And then for our flex moves, so we have Mud Shot, which is just essentially, so it lowers the accuracy of what what is hit by it, and then it also has 55 base power. It's a ground move. It's mostly just for spread if you want to have that ground move spread. It's pretty good. My hair is so wet right now. And then we also have Dark Pulse, which is just a good spread move. Oh, my hair, get in my mouth. Dark Pulse is I believe 80 base power, or 75 or 70. I don't know, one of them. And it has a higher crit rate, I believe, as well. So that, or no, it doesn't have a higher crit rate. It gives it a chance to flinch. It's good. Dark Pulse is pretty solid. It's another good option that you can have as well. And we also have Hydro Cannon or Hydro Pump. You can opt to use either one instead of Snipe Shot or instead of Protect potentially as well. And it's just a higher amount of damage. Hydro Cannon does 150 base power with 90 accuracy, but then you have to recharges like Hyper Beam. And then Hydro Pump is just 80 accuracy with 110 power, which is good as well. But 80 accuracy, you know, like you're going to miss like 20% of the time, which sucks. And then for our last option, we have Haze, which just removes all stat boosts on the field, which I like. I think that, I think that's a really good option. Just an ability, or just as an attack, like to be able to take away things like the Mudsdale boost, Belly Drum, you know, some of the like biggest threats in the game. It's good to just be able to get rid of them. Into our stats, so we just maxed 252 into special attack and speed, really basic. Mouth is so dry. Really basic, pretty standard, exactly what you would expect. We're also timid nature, so that we're plus speed minus attack, just to get as fast as possible, since we want to just be dealing damage. We're really frail, so we want to attack first. And actually, the speed tiers are very in our favor. The only things that really outspeed us is things that we know are going to outspeed us, things like Choice Scarf Pokemon, things like Dragapult, Hawlucha, Swift Swim Boys, all of the things that you will expect to outspeed you no matter what Pokemon you're using, unless you're using a really fast Pokemon with Scarf or something, you know. Anyway, onto our synergies. So first off, we have Tailwind, Whimsicott, Tailwind, Fake Tears, Whimsicott, but that's not the only synergy that we have with, wait, is it? Yeah, Tailwind, Fake Tears. So Fake Tears will lower the special defense of a Pokemon by 2 stages, making Inteleon essentially just kill anything. Not like anything, but it's a very strong little thing that you can do. You can set Fake Tears on something and then Inteleon go in and do huge damage. You also have access to Taunt to turn off Trick Room potentially on certain Pokemon. However, a lot of the time they'll have, you know, like that redirection buffer turn where they essentially just suffer one knockout to set up the Trick Room and pivot into a really good Pokemon. So, you know, Taunt only works against that, like, sometimes. And then we also have Tailwind, which is really good, priority Tailwind. Obviously, I really shouldn't have to talk about how good that is, but I will. It's really, really powerful. So that's about all I have to say for that. So yeah, Whimsicott's a really good synergy. And then we also have Vanillix. So the reason Vanillix is so good is because it sets the Hail. I already talked about this briefly, but it sets Hail, and then you can dual Blizzard, or you can set up Aurora Veil, which gives you essentially Light Screen and Reflect, but halved. So it lowers damage by special and physical attacks by 25%, which is really good. Things like Psychic Fangs and Brick Break obviously get through that, and even Gmax Corviknight Wind Rage can break through that, but I mean, you won't see any of that stuff too frequently, so yeah. Vanillix is pretty solid. You can run it with the Focus Sash or with Choice Scarf, depending on the team that you're using, the rest of the Pokemon. Another good synergy is Colossal. So Inteleon actually has access to Aqua Jet as well, which gives you just priority into the it's just a priority water attack that sets off Steam Engine and Weakness Policy. It's pretty good, but you have to be careful of redirection, things like the Togekiss, Indeedee, and even Butterfree. So you just have to be careful. You have to see that, and Storm Drain. too much stuff stops that, but if the field is clear, then you're good. You won't see like single targeting Steam Engine Weakness Policy proc very frequently, just because of all of those things. However, Surf just gets through all of those things, so you want to usually use like Weavile or Dragapult as a Surf user for that synergy. Anyway, into our last synergy here is Hydreigon, and this is just an example. There are other Pokemon that cover these weaknesses, but it's just it just resists electric and grass, which means it's just a very solid switch in whenever Inteleon's in danger. That's pretty much all it is. They just cover each other really well. And then for our last couple of synergies, we have or not synergies, these are scary Pokemon. It's big scary Pokemon. We have Rotom-cut, which obviously has electric and grass, and the damage calcs for it are very in their favor. However, they aren't Dynamaxed Inteleon, so you can potentially live them, but I just wouldn't challenge it in general. And then for our last one is Gastrodon, just because of Storm Drain. So if you use Snipe Shot or Max Geyser into something and they switch out into Gastrodon, they get that boost, you waste a turn, and it's really, really bad for you. So that's just a thing to keep in mind. Also, its damage output after one Storm Drain is actually really solid, even if it's not offensive. And we'll talk about that in a bit with some damage calcs. Anyway, for right now, we're going to go ahead and jump into our speed tiers. So, as far as speed tiers, where are we? We're right here, 189. We're actually really, really fast. So, we hit 189 with Positive Nature max invested. The only things that we don't just automatically assume that they outspeed are going to be Ribombee at 193 max speed, max invested with Positive Nature. This Pokemon is really... and it's not threatened by Ribombee, you know, like Bug Buzz or Pollen Puff and Dazzling Gleam don't really affect us too much, so it's not really a big scare, you know what I mean? And then for our, and then other things that outspeed us, like I said, like Swift Swim, Unburden, Dragapult, Scarf users, all of these Pokemon will outspeed you. Anything that hits that 200 tier pretty easily is gonna outspeed you, and there's a lot of that, but. Most of them, like I said, are like Scarf users, so once you identify that the Scarf is there, you know what the threat is, and then the rest of the team kind of just falls to the Inteleon. And also, you have Tailwind, so if they don't have Tailwind or Trick Room, then you just control the speed the entire game, and you just kill them, so that's good as well. Right under us, we have Cinderace at positive 252. It's at 188 to our 189, so we outspeed Cinderace every time, which is good. And we should just destroy Cinderace with Max Geyser / Snipe Shot. So /Snipe Shot. That's a lot of S's. Anyway, so yeah, Cinderace isn't too big of a problem, too big of a threat. And then we also have Whimsicott at 184. So if it's using Energy Ball or something into our Inteleon, we'll be able to outspeed. Obviously, with Prankster, it will still outspeed us with its priority status moves. I feel like I'm talking really fast today. And then next we have 177 Durant. Durant doesn't threaten us too much, and we don't have anything that just destroys it right off the bat. So yeah, that's kind of annoying, but it doesn't threaten us too much. Obviously, if it Dynamax, it does a lot of damage and just threatens everything. So obviously, be scared of the Durant. Don't be like, oh, well, it's just not gonna kill us, because we're frail. We're super frail. So Durant's still gonna just do huge damage, if not knock us out, even in Dynamax form. It's just gonna do a lot of damage. And then we have Inteleon. So this is Inteleon without the nature. If you wanted to go modest nature, all of these Pokemon will outspeed us. The Cinderace, the Whimsicott, the Durant, all of those outspeed us. So that's why I chose to go Timid, because all three of those Pokemon are actually pretty relevant in the meta. More so the Whimsicott and Durant. A little less on the Cinderace, but it's still there, definitely. So yeah, I like Timid nature. Things that we outspeed, even if we go modest nature, is Charizard and Ninetales. We outspeed those boys. However, a Max Airstream / Tailwind will then outspeed us, unless we set up our own Tailwind. Haha, or Max Airstream. Haha. Anyway, yeah, Charizard and Ninetales, we just destroy those Pokemon pretty much, which is really good, because those Pokemon are really, really good. Or more so Charizard, not really Ninetales, but Ninetales is it's there, it's there. And then other things that we outspeed is the Togedemaru and Mimikyu. You won't see these Pokemon sash, so it's fine. Togedemaru is a little scary, I guess. Zip Zap is pretty big. Zing Zap, and then also Mimikyu doesn't really threaten us too much. Will-O-Wisp, we don't care, and then Foul Play or Play Rough and Shadow Claw is just fine. Play Rough actually sucks, but yeah. So that's it for our speed tiers. We're gonna go ahead and jump into some damage calcs here. I keep doing. You just saw the behind the scenes. It's Photoshop, boys. Anyway, Whimsicott. I don't know why I said Whimsicott. Why did I say Whimsicott there? Anyway, Rotom-mow, Rotom-seat, rotom-cut, rotom-mow, whatever you call them. Leaf Storm kills us. Guaranteed OHKO. So this is into non-Dynamaxed form of Inteleon, and it's also non-Dynamaxed Rotom-cut, and it's also without Life Orb. So if it has Life Orb, then it's gonna kill us even if we Dynamax. But if it doesn't have Life Orb, if it's just if it's Scarf or something, which is the only way that it's gonna outspeed us, then it won't kill us, and we're fine. If we Dynamax. If we don't Dynamax, then we die. If we do Dynamax, we actually still have a chance of dying. So just don't really fight this guy. This guy's really strong. It's bad. It's a bad matchup. And then next we have Gastrodon Storm Drain boosted Earthquake or Earth Power into us. So this is just the most common spread on Picolytics is with 108 Modest Nature and Earth Power Storm Drain boosted. So after like a snipe shot and they switch in, that it does 84 to 100.6% to an undynamaxed Inteleon. So if we Dynamax, obviously it doesn't threaten us. It does like 40 to 50%. But if we do threaten and they get that 6.3 chance, then they got us. But they're not going to get it. Come on. Whoever gets a 6.3% roll, like 6% of people do. Come on now. Anyway, Dynamax Inteleon Max Geyser into Dynamax Charizard doesn't guaranteed kill, which sucks. We only hit 81 to 96%. So if you attack into it, you can double in, but then protect like really scares us. Or if you attack Max Geyser and they go in Gastrodon, oof, that's a big deal. That's a big sad for us. But other than that, you know, like a Dynamax into Dynamax battle, we should usually win. Also, Max Geyser will then set Rain. So if it's Solar Power Charizard, you know, like we're looking pretty good. Especially if they set Tailwind and attack first, then we get to reset the Rain. And then, yeah, we take like very minuscule damage from a in Rain Max Flare from an unboosted guy. We just don't take much damage. So that's pretty cool. Next, we have Dynamaxed Max Geyser into Dynamaxed Mudsdale Assault Vest. This is just a pretty common build for the Mudsdale, just max HP, a little bit invested, like the 4 invested into Special Defense, and then Assault Vest, Dynamaxed. It does 39 to 46%, but then after we set Rain, we will then be doing almost 60 to 70%, so we should usually 2-hit KO if we can set the Rain and then kill them. And then Mudsdale Dynamaxed doesn't do an insane amount of damage unless it's Swagger boosted. If it's Swagger boosted, then we are probably in trouble. I think High Horsepower does like right around 50%, so if it's Swagger boosted, then it's going to just most likely just knock us out. So yeah, if it's Swaggers, then it's a bad matchup. If not, then like we should almost always win that matchup, which is good because the stamina boost like doesn't matter at all. And we can't intimidate, so there's no really good way to stopping the Swagger boosted, the Swagger Mudsdale with Inteleon. Honestly, there's nothing you can really do, and especially if they have Gyarados, or not Gyarados, especially if they have Gastrodon, then it's just like, yikes, like big yikers, boys. Anyway, Dynamaxed Inteleon into Rhyperior Solid Rock. This is Dynamaxed. We guarantee Oko, even the Solid Rock Dynamaxed Superboy Rhyperior. They have to have Gastrodon to really do anything about this, or I mean that's really it. Like this is before we can, like it doesn't matter. Even if they have Trick Room, like they're not gonna be able to kill us. So yeah, they can maybe kill us with like I don't know, probably not. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for the damage calcs. We'll go ahead and jump into Singles Spotlight here. So I don't think this Pokemon is very good in singles. Like I said, I'm not a huge singles player, so you could probably use this Pokemon better than I could. But yeah, this is all I could really find. Is this Pokemon's like a choice specs user, like Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Air Slash. You want to Dynamax this Pokemon, although yeah, you want to Dynamax this Pokemon a lot of the time to set up like Air Slash, like max Airstreams get really fast, and then choice specs kill everything. But there's a lot of Pokemon that kind of just shut it down. Other than that moveset, we have the same build. It's just max into special attack and speed and timid nature. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of Pokemon that just shut you down like really, really hard. Things like Ferrothorn and Toxapex, they just wall you out. You do no damage. Like across the board, every single attack that you have just does nothing. So it's kind of bad. But we do have U-turn to pivot, which is good. So if you can like pivot around, bring in something like rotom-heat, get rid of the Ferrothorn, or bring in something like Ferrothorn to deal with the Toxapex. If you deal with these Pokemon and then bring this Pokemon out and max Airstream, get fast, and then choice specs just kill everything, then this Pokemon can shine. But it needs positioning. It needs your opponent to like not have threats out. It needs that. It's a lot. Other things that it benefits from is setting rocks, stealth rocks or spikes with Ferrothorn. So that's one of the main reasons I have Ferrothorn down there. It also resists both of the grass and electric, so it's a really good switch in. especially with U-turn. If you can pivot into it, it's really good. And then we also have rotom-heat here, mostly for pivoting and also dealing with Ferrothorn. U-turn and Volt Switch just lets your team like just pivot through the entire game, and then it has Overheat to deal with the Ferrothorn, and it can't really deal with the Toxapex, but it can deal with a lot of Pokemon like those walls. And then we also have Gyarados and Dracovish, just really strong Pokemon that can make big use out of the Stealth Rocks as well, and also that combined with Inteleon can really take down huge Pokemon, which is really good. So yeah, that's about all I have for singles and just for Inteleon in general. Thank you so much for watching. We're at like almost 600 subs, and once I hit a K, we're doing a giveaway. I'm gonna get the things for the giveaway soon. I already ordered them and they're on the way, so we'll talk about it more once we get closer. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe it up if you like this kind of content. Go into the comments and suggest more guides that you want to see guides for in the future. I'm working on some other stuff. I have some other stuff in the works for videos other than just guides, so keep that in mind. Put notifications on if you want. You don't have to, because I post a lot and it might get annoying. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We're at like 20 minutes, so I'm gonna go away now. But thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.